And I wonder if that is what people are chasing is the feeling. And when I look at the Andy Griffith Show, I think of community and how it was a community. And we're now today we're so isolated and we don't have that true community. I think maybe that people are starting to realize that, and that we need to build community and be able to know who our neighbors are, and like they did back then. So that was something you said that stood out to me, was the feeling that it brings out. Yeah. So John, I know you have another question.
Well, yeah, and I was gonna add one thing. I was in professional sales for 35 years, and let me tell you, all the sales trainings I've been through, and Cindy, does sales, but nostalgia is one of those emotions that sells, okay? And she just came off the campaign trail, and one thing in the campaign, you got to get to their emotional level to sell. And that's one thing like Mega has done. And we know Southwest Virginia, and Cindy can talk a little bit about on her experiences on the campaign trail. The other side does a good job selling emotion, and our side sometimes gets hung up on wanting to sell issues.
Mhm.
And I know you've seen that going door to door, Cindy, and all that. And people in rural America are real hesitant about change.
Well, I do agree with the what you mentioned, John, about change and people being resistant to change. I did hear that a lot. And what I think, my opinion is on MAGA, they have focused on any issue you have, it's because somebody else is taking it from you. So right now, their focus is on the immigrant population. You would have a good job. You would be able to afford your bills if it weren't for that immigrant. Instead of it being the billionaires and the millionaires who aren't paying their workers enough and who are exploiting workers and our natural resources. So, that's a battle when you get othered. I remember going to one house and talking to a man, and he said, "Well, you don't seem crazy." Because if you're a Democrat, they're hearing, depending on the news station you listen to, that we're all just, wild, trying to burn places down. You're being told to be afraid of your neighbor. So there is definitely a disconnect. And a lot of that, I think, is the news that people are listening to. And we're all in our own kind of siloed information sources, which just exacerbates that and alienates us from being able to build that neighbor, watch out for each other. Who's your neighbor?